Hello, witches. I am High Priestess Autumn Phoenix. Thank you for joining me here live, either on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or X for, I believe, a very important broadcast that every witch should be turning into. So go ahead and text some people, call some people, email some people, direct message a couple witches and tell them that there is a high priestess here in New York. Once again, my name is High Priestess Autumn Phoenix, who is anointed and appointed by the Queen of Witches to be a voice for witches who have ears to hear and hands to receive. He says best. We know that right now, if you are in my country, the United States, the world is going a little cuckoo, a little crazy. But have you heard of Project 2025? Have you heard of Project 2025? The part that I'm going to speak about definitely affects witches because Project 2025 is this insane manifesto from the far Christian right. It's a manifesto of their plan to take over the country, do away with our constitution, do away with our basic rights. Now, listen, I'm not interested in what your political affiliation is. That's your business, not mine. I'm not interested. I'm not nosy. I'm not interested in what your political affiliation is. That's not what this live broadcast is about. This broadcast is really just for witches and how I've been saying for years now the far extreme conservative Christian right, mostly Christians, but Muslims and Jews are not excluded. I'm talking about people of the Abrahamic faith. Christians, Muslims, and Jews. Okay, let me just say that. Let me just call it what it is, so we can use real language. So yes, we are going there today. Now, if you saw my post from a couple of nights ago when it was the witching hour, and I talked about how I had this dream given to me by the Queen of Witches Hecate of Christians bathing themselves in the blood of their fallen Messiah, Jesus Christ. I said this 1,000 times already. This will happen in our lifetime. The Christian's role in Project 2025 is to make everybody a Christian. And if you're not a Christian, you will either be sent to jail or killed or sent away, sent to a camp, a special camp to brainwash you into accepting Jesus as your Lord and Savior. Oh, yes, we're going there today. Yes, we are. So stick around. Stick around. Please stick around. Go ahead. I'm telling you, go ahead and text some witches, call some witches, direct message some witches, and tell them to come on to this live broadcasting now. Because we're going there. Oh, shoot. Yeah, we're going there. It's their plan. They stupidly sent out this plan to take full control of the United States. But I don't believe people are actually seeing it the right way. I believe that we should just let it happen. Hecate has told me we should just let it happen. Because then when people get tired of it, when people get tired of being controlled, when people get tired, like I did when I first became a witch, tired of hearing about how Jesus died for our sins, blah, 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 how he's coming back for the second time, blah, 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 how he's the Messiah, and wah, 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 they will rebel. They will rebel. They will get tired of it and come after them. Come for blood. Come for their children. Come for their elderly. No one will be exempt. And all witches have to do is sit back and watch the blood flow, watch the blood shed. That's not graphic. That's what's going to happen in our lifetime. You and me will be alive to witness this. And it's going to be a show. It's going to be pay-per-view worthy entertainment. It is. People are going to push back. People are not going to let these extreme conservative Christians take over the country with no recourse, with no consequence. Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, it's going to happen. I mean, what happens when you push? What happens when you back a cat into a corner? What happens when you back a bear, a raccoon, a possum into a corner? You're going to get a fight and you're going to lose. You're going to lose that fight. You are going to lose that fight. And probably, most likely, you are going to lose your life. I said this before. Hecate very often will take someone out of the earth, take people, groups of people out of the earth if they put their mouth on one of her devotees. Yes, she will just gone, either buried or cremated, one or the other. One or the other. So, what is witches to do in the meantime? So, let's say, for instance, he who must not be named gets elected and Project 2025 does go through. What are witches to do? Witches are to come to an understanding, finally, at last, that they are under the protection of Hecate. That Hecate will not let people bully them, harass them, stalk them, bother them, try to pick a fight with them, because they will probably lose their life in the process. When you go to war with a witch, you will lose. You will lose everything. Everything will be taken from you. Everything. And sometimes, only sometimes, let me say this very clearly, only on rare occasions will your life also be tossed to the wayside. But it happens. I've seen it happen. It's happened for some of you witches. Hecate just takes someone out of the earth because she loves you that much. I said this before. Don't worry about what people are planning out there. Don't worry about what people are scheming and coming together with their radicalized Christianity, with their radicalized Messiah, with their radicalized crucified martyr. Don't worry about that. Your job as a witch is to stay under the covering of Hecate. Somebody right now needs to praise and worship Hecate that they are currently under her protection. I believe it's two people here that need to right now praise and worship Hecate that they are under her protection and cannot, will not be touched. Will not be touched. Hecate takes the protection of witches seriously. This Project 2025 manifesto, it can go through. Okay, cool, no problem. Bet. It's cool, but it won't affect witches though. It won't affect their loved ones and their true friends because they won't stand for it. That's why. Witches are much more powerful than a martyred savior, broken at the foot of the cross. Witches are much, much powerful than any enemy who is idiotic enough to go toe to toe with a witch. Going toe to toe with a witch, trying to bully a witch, trying to make them do what you want, it never goes well. It never goes well, ever. I've never seen it happen. It can't happen because they are under the covering of the queen of witches, Hecate. And Hecate always protects her own. Always protects her own. So they can plan, they can scheme, they can lie, they can terrorize, they can coerce. None of that will matter. Project 2025 is conservative extremism. It is. It's extreme government rollback, trying to take us back to a better time, trying to take us to the Lord. Take me to the Lord. Make everyone Christian. Anyone who is not Christian is going to be punished or killed. You can't enforce that because you will always have that one person. You will always have that one person who can actually fight, who will fight you. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no way I would sit by. There's no way that you, as a witch, would sit by and just let it happen. Let what happen? Huh? What? I, no. Just no. Just no. No witch is going to sit back and let them be controlled, let alone be destroyed. Because it's very clear to say that if this was to get passed, if Project 2025 was to go through, they are definitely going to target witches. They are definitely going to target people of the gay community. Of course they are. Witches know that we constantly, did I mention constantly, have a target on our backs. Constantly. People hate our guts. But they're not making any noise though. They won't confront a witch because they don't want confrontation. No, say what you have to say. Say what you have to say. I want to hear it. You have all this mouth. You have so much to say. Let's hear it. Project 2025 is this ultra conservative nonsense to take control of the United States by the crazy Christians. They feel like if they are in power, they can summon Jesus to come back for his second coming. They are actively working to urge, to beg, to plead, to cry and sob, oh, Jesus, 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 please come back and save this country. America shall be saved. God is not finished with America. They are working towards their goal to try to bring him back for his second coming so that he himself can kill off all of us. You, me, people of color, Native Americans, anyone who does not agree with Christianity will be killed off when Jesus comes back. So, what does that mean? I believe it means that we may have to kill him again. He's just a man like any other man. He believes like any other man. He can be killed. That sounds pretty graphic, right? That sounds pretty harsh, right? That sounds horrible and terrible and frightening. How can I say that? But it's true. It's true though. There's no there's nothing I said that is wrong. It may be shocking. It may be like, oh, did she really say that? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I actually did. I did. And I don't apologize for it. I'm never going to apologize for telling the truth. Never. I can't. Because then I'm not a servant of Hecate, the queen of witches. As witches, we must always tell the truth. As witches, we must not say things to make people feel comfortable or happy or go on their merry way into ignorance. We must not. As witches, we must always tell the truth. Always. May people agree or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Project 2024 is this ridiculous idea that Christians are the true elite people and should be in charge of every aspect of American society. And that's not true. That's something they made up in their little itty bitty tiny imagination because they believe that they are above everybody else, and everybody else who is not a Christian is a fart, is a barf bag. But when people push back, like I said, maybe we should let this go through. Because when people finally push back against them, there is going to be blood and death to follow. There is going to be blood and death to follow when people push back. Going back to what I said before, what happens when you back an animal into a corner? They are going to bite you. They are going to hurt you. They are going to kill you. They are going to rip your body to pieces, and you would deserve it. Why are you backing a wild animal into a corner? Why are you backing a person that has had enough into a corner? They are going to come out swinging, kicking, swinging, biting. And you can't fight that type of energy off. That type of energy has no defense. So it's very important when it comes to this November, whoever you vote for in this presidential election, like I said at the beginning, your political affiliation means nothing to me. Your political affiliation means nothing to Hikate. Every year, Hikate tells every single witch two things: vote your consciousness and vote what is best for your country. She tells that to all nations who are devotees of hers, not just America. Every year around election time, Hikate tells her devotees, vote your consciousness. Vote for the country that you want. Vote what is best for your country. The choice is yours. We all have free will. But it may very well be taken away the day after the presidential election here in the United States on November 5th. But what is witches to do is to stay under the covering, the protection, the supernatural protection of the Queen of Witches, Hikate. Stay under her protection. I just said there are two people here now. Two people here that need to immediately after this broadcast has come to a close, they need to go praise and worship the Queen of Witches in appreciation and gratitude that they are devotees of hers, because they cannot be touched. They will not be touched. They are unkillable. They have a limited amount of favor because they have consistently, when asked to do so by Hikate, praise and worship her. Those two people, you know who you are. You know who you are. Need to do that after this broadcast has come to a close. Praise and worship Hikate for being a devotee of hers, because she can very easily not do it. But she chose you to. She chose you to for a reason. So do not despair. Don't get into the fear mongering of social media or the news media about this. Don't do it to yourself. Don't concern yourself so much about what the world is saying. What is Hikate saying to you? Hikate speaks to us in a way that we can all understand. What is Hikate, the Queen of Witches, Queen of the Crossroads, Queen of the Underworld? What is she saying to you directly? Hikate speaks to us in a way that we can understand. What is she saying to you about this upcoming presidential election? What is she saying to you? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, because it's really between you and the queen. But listen to her voice more so than the rest of the world. Listen to her voice more than mine. Oh yes, listen to Hikate more than my voice. I'm just a servant, okay, of Hikate. I am just a servant of Hikate. I'm just her mouthpiece to speak to witches who have ears to hear and hands to receive Hikate's best. So you may have seen all this talk on social media about Project 2025. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's the end of America. I don't believe that. I'm not going to accept that. As a high priestess, I'm not going to accept that this is the end of America. I'm not going to accept it. I'm not. I still believe in America. I'm still proud to be an American. This is still my home because Hikate is still the queen of witches. That's why. Because Hikate is still the queen of witches. And nothing else matters but that. Nothing else matters but that. So I wanted to come on here live and talk about it a little bit. How these radical far right Christians are trying to take over the country, and how it's not going to happen because witches, high priests, high priestesses is not going to let it happen. Not as long as we have breath in our bodies, it's not going to happen. It can't happen. It can't. As long as Hikate is the queen of witches, they can do what they want. They can have all the campaigns, all the commercials, all the social media posts, all the TikToks they want. It doesn't matter. Hikate is about that. If you stay under her covering, if you continue to praise and worship her when she asks you to. The reason why I say when she asks you to is because you don't have to always praise and worship Hikate. You should definitely do it when she tells you to, because she wants to be reassured that you are truly a devotee of hers. So you don't have to worship Hikate and praise Hikate all the time, but definitely when she tells you to do so, when she requests that you do so. Because that's when the favor, that's when the blessings, that's what you want. That's when the prosperity and abundance will come to you as a witch. Because, like I always say, no witch should be going through life the hard way. The world can be going to hell in a handbasket. Okay, fine, cool, whatever. That's hot. That's what's popping. Okay, bet. But that won't be your life. That will not be your fate. That will not happen to you because we have the Queen of Witches, Hikate. So thank you, witches, for jumping on to this quick live pop-up broadcast. I know it was a little bit intense, but Hikate told me to come on here and talk about this and reassure witches of her might, reassure witches of Hikate's power, reassure witches that if they stay under the covering of Hikate, what happens in the world will not happen to them. Will not happen to them. So thank you, witches, for joining me. Be sure to share this broadcast, like I always say, like you always should, to reach more witches that need these type of informative messages from the Queen of Witches herself through a high priestess. Now, I'm not the only high priestess that Hikate speaks to. Oh no, I'm not that arrogant. Hikate speaks to witches, other high priests, other high priestesses. It's not just me. Okay, I'm not the only one. Okay, Hikate anoints and appoints men and women as high priests and as high priestesses as she sees fit. So it's not just me that has access to Hikate when she has a word for you. It's not just me. Okay, I am always going to redirect you to Hikate because she is your source. I'm just her mouthpiece for witches who have ears to hear and hands to receive her best. So thank you, witches, for joining me once again. I am High Priestess Autumn Venus, and I will speak to you, witches, next time. Bye, everyone.